There you go, brothers, and the occasional sister. That pig there, 180 pound, or depending on what scales you weighed it on another scales it was 179. That dog there, Z, and that's me when I was younger, and that's the biggest pig I've actually ever caught, which isn't very big compared to how many pigs I've caught, but it's the biggest and most ferocious pig I ever caught. Z, she was a dog that was killing all the cats in Amano Street in Nelson, and she got caught finally. The 12th cat she'd killed, someone's pet, and the dog ranger came out to my mate's Chris's place, who owned it, and said that dog's got to be put down. We finally found out where all the cats are missing, and there's probably more cats that they didn't know, but they know at least 12 got killed. And Chris said, look, I'll get a mate to sort it. So he called me up with a heavy heart. I said, yeah, okay, I hate that job. You can't rehome a dog that's doing that, because you go to someone else's home and it just does the same thing. And what future did it have? It didn't have any future, and she was a lovely girl. And so I said, yeah, I'll do it, mate. Wasn't happy about it. Anyway, packed my dogs up into the Land Cruiser, the old 4.3 naturally aspirated diesel with the FRP top, the old one I've got down the garage. And off we went up the Pierce, which I'd been living up quite a bit of the time. Put 4 dogs, my 4 hunting dogs. I had 2 going dogs and 2 sort of pups. My Magnum 44, the old MN10 tracker, knife on my hip, and a bit of rope around Z's neck. She wasn't getting any rip gear because she wasn't going pig hunting. She was going to go get a hole, she was going to get a shot. And up Goat Creek we went. On the way up there, she started scenting. I thought, it'll probably be just a possum, or maybe a rabbit or a hare or something, because she's not a pig dog. But then my main, Chun Chun, here's my main, he was scenting a bit too, putting his nose up. I thought, could be a pig up there. There's normally titty sows up there. I'd keep the dogs in, but no, I let them off. Up they went. They went about 80 metres up the bank, and we didn't have GPS in those days. We had the old MN10 with a fold-out aerial. And so I was getting all the shit out to track where they're going, and then I realised I didn't need to because I hear them barking, so I fold it all back, stick it back in my backpack, get a little backpack for it. I'm waiting there, looking up about 80 metres up the bank, and then I see this bloody manuka just go straight down. I thought, fuck, that's a big tree getting knocked down by what? That's going to be a big pig. And then another one crashing here. Dogs getting caned. I thought, fuck, this isn't good. This is not good. What is it? Is it a bloody, like a massive boar, or they caught a stag or something? Because it just doesn't seem like a normal pig I'm used to. Anyway, it all fell out on the bank in front of me. The whole thing of the pig was a pig. And 5 dogs hanging onto it, including Z, who was hanging onto one of the ears. The left ear to be precise. And all my other dogs. And my 2 mains were already had blood coming out of them. Chun had a superficial rip on his paw here, I could see. And Girl had one on her neck, or just about there. And they all piled on down past me. I went up a tree because I was scared, because I dropped me like my balls. I was like, fuck, this is like coming straight at me, and it's not contained at all. It's like throwing dogs left, right and centre, and I couldn't grab it. Well, I probably could have, but I was a bit of a pussy. I went up this tree with my 44, I'm going to shoot the bastard, and couldn't get a shot. And then they peeled off down the creek. And as I went down the creek, one of the pups had disappeared. It had given up. Get further down, another pup's disappeared. I get finally down into this big pond of water, and Girl's on the bank, and she's got a rip in her neck, and she's like looking exhausted. She doesn't seem to be like really badly hurt, but she's bleeding. And Chun's like on the other side of the bank, holding his paw up, like, I'm gonna rip paw, boss. I said, you're okay, get in there and get that pig. He's not going in there. And Z, this fucking dog, which is a house dog, is still hanging on to the left ear. And she's going round and round the creek. She's not letting it go. So I jump into the creek. I didn't find out where my knife was. It had somehow slipped around the wrong time. I jumped on it and grabbed it right here with my left hand. So we're going round and round. The pig's trying to rip me, and I'm trying to get my knife out now. I've got it half contained. It's going round and round. We're doing circles. It's trying to hook me. And eventually I get my knife out and I stick it in. I go way too low or back further. And that just pisses the pig off. He's like, he's not going to die. That wasn't a fatal blow. A fatal stab, and we're like at the point now where I'm not gonna, this pig's getting the better of me, and I'm trying to get the knife in and I can't because I'm pressed up against the bank, and eventually I get it under the shoulder, just under here, and get the kill shot in. Far out, get it in the pig. You can slowly feel the life go out of it slowly. Hell of a battle. The other 2 dogs that were lying down, they were like, yeah, they'll go to the vet, but they'll live to see another day. So I took the guts out on the bank. And I must have been like a bit crook that morning or something. I think I might have been fighting off a flu, or maybe I'd been on the piss the night before. I don't remember. It's nearly 20 years ago, but I was buggered. got the pig on my back and rolled over, so my feet were down below, and stood up, and fuck, it was heavy for a little guy like me. And I started going up the bank, plod, plod, plod. I thought, man, this is going to be 200 pound. Plod, 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 up the bank, get up there, and like really, really feeling weird, and then didn't even get to the top. And later on, I woke up. I must have passed out. I'm on the ground, and I've got the pig on top of me. I'm squashed. I'm just lying there, and I'm all like feeling faint. I thought, I've passed out. And Z's licking my face like to wake me up. And the other dogs are just all hanging around looking sorry. Old Chun Chun, come on, boss, and Gil with a bit of blood coming out her neck, but it's stopped now. It's coagulated, and she's all right. She's tired and just looking. There's no real damage. I'm like, shit, I'm not going to get this thing up. I'm rooted. So go and get the truck. I had the old Land Cruiser, the one I've still got. Had a winch on the front of it. Actually, no, it wasn't the one I had. It was actually the one I gave to me mate Kev. Yeah, it was the white one I gave to me mate Kev. That's right, pretty sure. Yeah, I had another Land Cruiser. I gifted him that. A good Land Cruiser too. It was a one with a 13BT. That's the turbo engine. Yeah, and I gave it to him because he was a good bass. He was a hunting mate. Anyway, I digress. I winched this thing out of the gut where it was. Got it on over the winch. How the hell I lifted, don't know. Threw the dogs in the back. And I went home and I hung it on the willow tree at home. And I weighed it before I took it back down, threw it at the back of the truck and took the dogs to the CRT vet. Took them to the vet. They got a couple of stitches with nothing major. And then I went off to the Wakefield butchery. And they got this pig, and it took 3 men to lift it up onto the strop they had. And they made it all into bacon. And it was the best bacon. It was so fat. And I had bacon to give to everybody. Anyway, that was all good and well. But still this problem with this cat killer. Z the pussy killer. And I had cats all around where I live. So she just stayed in a cage 24/7. And we had probably about, I think it was 3 or 4 guests come and stay with us at one time, and from Germany. They come and stayed, and one of them let Z out, and straight away she killed one of the cats, and she brought it back home. And it didn't have a collar on, so I don't know whose cat it was. I just sort of waited and I watched the notice board, and there was no missing cat advertised anywhere, but she brought it back home, and you can't do that, Z. Anyway, I started hunting with the other dogs and tried it, and every time I got home, my other dogs would have an injury that I always thought the pig had done, mostly their back legs. They'd be really badly injured. Anyway, around Guy Fawkes, we were putting down a couple of pigs, because I used to shoot, because I had some pigs I was fattening at home, and I used to shoot them at Guy Fawkes, because you could always like let a rifle off in your backyard, which you're not allowed to do, but nobody would know, because it just sounded like another cracker going off, eh? So anyway, I shot one of these pigs, and I couldn't catch the other one. It was in a run. So I let the dogs out to chase it down the end of the run. Not in the run, because I didn't want them to actually hold it. I just wanted them to scare it down the end so I could grab it and pop one into it. And when I'd done that, I let the dogs out, and I watched Z, and she hocked one of my dogs trying to fight the pig, and I realised she was fighting all my dogs on every pig that we got, because she wanted them all to herself. And she may have even done that on this big guy. I may not have seen it. I don't know. And it wasn't until I got rid of her after that, because she could not be trusted. And she was actually hocking all my dogs and causing them. And it was a bastard to get rid of her. It gave me a heavy heart, but you can't have that. She was attacking other dogs. She was killing people's cats. And while she was an amazing hunter, she really, really was also a liability. And a lot of people lost their pets. And if I kept her, more people would have lost their pets. So I had to do the responsible thing, which is never fucking easy. God, anyway, I did, and I got rid of her, and I made a grave for her, at which I used to go out quite regularly and put flowers on and tell her, sorry, Gil. I'm sorry it had to be that way, but you signed your own death warrant, it was one thing that you were killing all the neighbours' cats, but when you started being aggressive on my dogs, what's going to be next, people? And yeah, it's always a hard one, that. I could have rehomed it to maybe some young fella and passed on the responsibility and said, look man, it's a good pig dog, but you can't hunt it around other dogs, you can't hunt it in the forestry, because it'll take other people's dogs' hocks. I had the same problem with my dog Bigsy, and he eventually did go on to attack, or almost attack, one of the young fellas I take out. And sadly I had to put Bigsy down too, because he was growling at young Brody, who I took out, and Brody was terrified he was going to bite him that day, and that was the end of it. So a bit of a sad ending, but that's what became of Z, and she would have been, if she didn't have that one trait, she would have been one of the best pig dogs I ever had. One of you asked me for that story. I forget who it was, and I tried to dig it out for you, couldn't find it, so I thought just as easy to tell you again. Bro Check Club on a Sunday, just a short video for your listening pleasure. Check on a brother, check on yourself, check on a neighbour, and go steady. I'll see you in the next Bro Check Club video. See you later. And rest in peace, Z. Oh, she had a good time when she was still around me, that's for sure. See ya.